welcome to another beautiful edition of our rights program, or they call Know Your Rights. This is not the program where they carry on give you things then we supposed to know about your rights according by the country law book and according by every other things and we say this country tell us. Today we're going to touch light the matter of rape. Yes, rape as a very big evil against your rights, and the topic for today now rape and the human rights, where law and culture take the relate. Rape already in a very dangerous, very terrible situation with against the fundamental human rights. Rape now something when a big disobey against your right to life, to bodily integrity, to dignity, to security, to physical integrity, and now also big violation against the freedom from torture and ill treatment. If you check for international law, they see rape as a kind of gender-based violence, a very big issue with against the rights of the people. But today we go on the touchlight, waiting law talk, waiting culture talk, how we feel related to, and waiting you supposed to do in situations like this. For now, no go anywhere. Make we sharp take a very short break. When we come back, we introduce our guest and then we jump right into the matter. Welcome back. Yes, today we'll talk about rape and human rights and how it connects with culture and the law. And I know go day here to do this work alone. I get one of the guests inside the studio, one of our young lawyers from the Young Lawyers Forum Gariki branch. I get Justice Oga Esquire inside the studio. Justice, good morning.
Good morning.
How you did today?
I did fine. Thank you for having me.
And thank you so much that you honor our invitation. Okay, so sharply, when we talk about rape, what exactly would you talk about?
Okay. Rape is a very serious offense, if I can start from that angle. You know, when we talk about the right to the dignity of human person, as we don't talk before, when you look at rape offends that particular right to the dignity of human person. However, our logbook for the country don't define rape in specific terms, and we will try to touchlight some of those law books so we'll have a perfect understanding of what rape is. So we'll first start with our criminal code. Our criminal code talks say rape is having an unlawful carnal knowledge of a girl or a woman without her consent, or if the consent himself is obtained by force, coercion, or even say for married women, for you are now saying that, okay, you're acting as the husband, you are pretending to be the husband and having carnal knowledge of such person is termed rape. So we also have the penal code, which is applicable in the north. You know, say for Nigeria, the way our laws dey, one law no dey applicable for all part of the country. So we need to first of all understand the criminal code what I just talked about covers the southern part of Nigeria. So it's applicable in southern states, most of the southern states in Nigeria. So for the penal code is applicable in the northern states in Nigeria. The penal code in section 282 define rape in a similar manner. The only thing we say for this one, in the aspect of the penal code came in to bring about punishment which was different from that of the criminal code. Now, for the criminal code gives life imprisonment for the offense of rape without any lesser punishment. However, for the penal code talks say, okay, you might have life imprisonment, but you can also have a lesser punishment, which must not fall below the age of 12 years, which means say if you have committed the offense of rape, you can be punished for a longer period, but you might not be given life imprisonment. So if you dey prison, but if it not be life imprisonment, maybe 12 years, depending on the discretion of the judge, as well they talk. However, we discovered that these two laws, the criminal code and the penal code, for instance, attributed rape to that of women. They made it specific that it's an offense against the women. So when society evolved, we now later realize that rape in its on the face of it is not only carried out on women. Most people don't know this part of this thing. Say rape alone cannot be carried out only on women. Even a man can be raped. So in 2015, the Violence Against Person Prohibition Act was introduced. And now this act went further to broaden the definition of rape. So now the Violence Against Person Prohibition Act talks, say, okay, if there is any opening in the human body that someone actually penetrates that thing, whether with any part of your own body or an object, you have committed rape to that person. So even as a man, if I don't even know the language I will use to talk this thing, we go make and they clear. You understand? If as a man, you are now forcefully, maybe another man uses his own genitals forcefully in your mouth, that is also an offense of rape. Whether it's in the anus or any part of the body that is an opening, that something can be injected, is also the offense of rape. You know, we have seen even in instances where women will mobilize men to rape their fellow women, and instances where they are not fully involved, however, but they can be punished for that offense because they are the one who orchestrated the whole thing. So that from the Violence Against Person Prohibition Act now, you know me say I must use a part of my body. So if I decide to use maybe like a stick, or someone decide to use a stick to penetrate another person's body, he has fully satisfied the ingredient required by that provision, which is section 1. You see, they bring them very early. The very first section of that particular law talks about what rape is. So if you look at generally international statutes, just like the Rome Statute itself, criminalize rape, just like how you talk that is an offense against the human person. It's an offense as a crime against human person. So we see that rape itself is not just within Nigeria, but the context, like how we take the Siam before culturally, is changing. It's changing, you know. Okay, I think there is a survey now, there is a statistics that of all rape cases now, you have 90% affecting women, 10% now affecting men. So before now, you go see say nobody go even talk say a man can be raped. But now a statistics is coming out to say that men, about 10%, are being raped. So we're
talking men, not boy child. Men, like matured men, get raped.
Yes, even matured men get raped. Not, we know that even children growing up can be molested.
Yes.
You understand that those sexually, they can be molested sexually and all. But even matured men, you know, there are people in the society, or we'll say people there for society, we know get that kind of strength. You know, when you look at the culture, they see a man to be a man of someone who have this physical strength. But there are some persons that don't have that strength. That strength no did their body. So people can easily take advantage of them. If today, in today's world, based on all this transgender and the rest, it's difficult for you to really understand some things. That's why you go around, some people will tell you, I don't do men, or I don't do girls. It's not just based on the fact that, okay, we are looking at homosexual aspect of it, but there are people who feel that the best way they can do it is doing it to their own fellow men. And in such a situation, imagine say a man is forcefully penetrated, maybe through his anus. You understand? Forcefully, that is an offense of rape on its own.
Okay, so this rape they talk about, it's sexual.
It is.
It has to be sexual. It has to be, say, either person puts their manhood or their womanhood inside your mouth or inside your anus or inside your private. But rape is a sexual offense.
Yes.
And in all forms, rape, disagree. Because we don't come to situations where some people, they talk, say, rape, now they say no means no.
Yes.
You know, when somebody tell you, say no. And so I think I saw the law or some go say now coded. A situation where a woman or a man tease you you know, he give you green light, you know, he do all the moves. Like we've had situations where they will say, now the woman carry herself, they rub on the man. Now the woman carry herself, they sit down for the man. Now anywhere where the man sit down, now she they go enter there. Now the woman invite the man come her house, or she followed him to her house. And then when things happen, she's now crying rape. How do you justify that aspect?
Okay. Now, I think first of all, we have to understand the key ingredients of rape. The most important aspect of those ingredients I will mention, which is consent and penetration. So if, for instance, we started on a light note, in fact, with a laugh, everything they go smoothly, and then you even start. That is, the penetration has taken place. It has even started. And then at a point, I say, no,
I don't want
again. That is, you have withdrawn the consent.
Even if like in the middle of the act.
Even in the middle of the act, consent has been withdrawn.
And the other person continues, it can be called rape.
That is rape on its own. You know, consent means say I don't agree. But when I deny consent means I no want. You understand? So let's look at it. The act itself has started. We don't first agree, everything they go smoothly. But I say I no want again, which means that I'm no longer interested. Everything should come to an end. So if I decide to continue, which means I'm violating your own rights, because you have said to me expressly, you don't tell me, say, I no dey interested again. That is where it should end. So if a woman, for instance, let's use a male-female situation. A woman agrees with you, in fact, consented, and as a man, imagine you don't even undress yourself and you are fully ready to do whatever you want to do. And the woman says, I'm no longer interested. That is the end of it. The moment you take a step and start pressurizing, no matter what, and continue, you discover, say, that point in time, as long as there'll be a slight establishment of penetration, no matter how minute, the offense of rape has been committed. Consent is a key ingredient. Penetration is also a key ingredient. So if there was no penetration, there was no rape. Say, okay, I no agree. And then the man decided to, maybe he tried to force himself, and then there was no way, penetration did not occur. Then the offense of rape was not committed. At most, what can be gotten from that situation is maybe sexual assault or whatever related to it.
So for rape, there has to be penetration.
There have to be penetration.
The thing must really happen.
Yes.
Okay, now if, for instance, now you prove, or you as a woman say they rape you, or you as a man say they rape you, what should you do? What will be the evidences then where you go show? If you have to, what should you even do if you're a victim of rape?
Okay.
And how do you get evidences of this act? Because, like, for example, now with this one we just talk now, we roll together, everything they go fine between us, and then at the last minute I say I no do, and then you still go ahead. I probably don't have tear, I probably no get any. So how do I prove, say, I did raped?
Okay, for the issue of rape generally, the system itself has made it easy, although it's not easy, and I'm going to explain how easy it ought to be, but how difficult it is in Nigeria's situation. When someone has been raped or has okay, let's say when someone has been raped, the first thing, there are 2 steps: to report to the nearest police station and take an examination, a medical examination. These are 2 steps that will prove. Okay, the police is just to record the event of how things went. A medical examination is to prove that truly this thing actually happened. You know, when you talk about medical examination, the DNA of a person, just by you, will I say, shaking hands with someone, you exchange DNAs, right? So with if someone forcefully penetrated another person, they will definitely, let's say, semen or any of those kind of things, go there to prove, say, this kind of thing happened. But if after the medical examination there is nothing to prove, invariably, is either the person is lying, or maybe what happened was not the offense of rape, maybe an indecent assault or something close to it. You understand? So
meaning, unless rape is forceful, it's not easy to prove. Because, like I still talk, you know why they talk this thing? So something happened of recent, you know, where just like I was talking, a lady and a guy, then they roll everywhere, they go fine for them, and then they got home. In the middle of the act, this one, the girl just freeze. You get? She no talk, she was like, no, but I might know, but she freeze. And the guy went ahead, no force, nothing, everything go all right. He sleep, wake up for morning, just for them to come call and say, the lady don't go lodge complaint, say he rape her. And him, they talk, say, no, it was not rape. They can't begin to investigate the thing, and then more, exposing can't come out on top the matter. So that's why they go say, in a situation where he no force you, but you actually did not want anymore, you said no, but you continue, how do you prove, say, you were raped?
Now, in a situation like that, you see, you didn't want any longer, and he continued.
Yes.
When you get to the police station, for instance, you are to do what? To write your statements as it is. So, in a way, somehow I feel that the truth of the matter will definitely come out, because I must say that our police, when they are interested in going into investigation, they usually find out the truth, except they are not really to go into investigation, if I can put it that way. But what I have noticed with the police is that, okay, when you see investigation going on for issues like this, definitely something must come out. It's a very difficult situation, just like how it has been stated, because one, the police was not there with you when the act was going on, and your medical examiners will only prove that, okay, this thing, there's maybe samples of DNAs and all that in the body, which actually shows that there was intercourse. Yes. However, the point of, let's say, picking up whether this thing happened consensually, whether there was an agreement to it or there was no agreement to it, is where the issue happens, where that particular thing comes up. And if you discover the way it is in our country, Nigeria, it's one difficult thing to prove. Very, very, I would say it's very difficult to prove, but based on testimonies, maybe oral testimonies, one thing linking to another, most times justice is always gotten. But that is not always the case in all situations.
But how you go touchlight the matter of rape for we country? Is there enough awareness? People actually know what's be rape, and then they're willing to come out. This stigma where they make people, is it still there? Or people don't they embrace the fact and encourage people to actually speak out, both men and women? Do we have that now?
Okay, that's a cultural thing. That's the cultural aspect of, I believe that's the cultural aspect of this topic. When you look at the way Nigeria itself is stationed, Nigeria is more of a man's society, if I can put it that way. It's more of a man's society. So imagine a situation where men are dominating, men kind of take charge. From the statistics I gave, that I said rape affect about 90% of women. I don't mean 90% of all the men do, but of reported cases, 90% are women.
Okay, now is it because now women it affect pass, or because men know they talk?
No, we won't say men don't talk. Even for the women, most cases of rape are not reported. There's a study on it that most cases of rape, even in Nigeria, are not reported. Just like the stigma you talked about. Okay, imagine a family, maybe someone coming from a well-to-do family, and then you now come up with a situation that this big man, the daughter was raped. The picture, people will be looking at that family. This lady was raped. Before you know, it becomes in the news. I know that of late, some people are beginning to get that courage to come out to speak. But I believe for this one is just because of the influence of social media, because they know that, okay, if I should bring out this story, it's going to travel, and a lot of people will want to talk about it. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So if you look at rape generally, the culture does not allow
people to talk
about it. You understand? So even the few reported cases are just because maybe some persons are generally hopeless. They don't know. They just feel that, okay, or someone has pushed them to go and talk about, most people that come out to even talk about rape cases or not, most of them are people who say, okay, I have nothing to lose. You understand? I say, okay, I don't have anything to lose. But if you look at those who the thing is really affecting, or instances of, okay, let me give a typical example. In 2021, I did my NYSC in Enugu State. I worked under Ministry of Justice in Enugu State. There were a lot of rape and defilement cases. And when I look at these cases, you just imagine that some of these cases happen within the family. Okay, this is another study too that was even proved that, okay, out of 100% of rape cases, 70% occur within people that know themselves. So in a situation, okay, a grandfather, there was a particular case like that we did in Enugu. A grandfather was defiling the granddaughter, a 3-month-old baby. So if you begin to look at situations like this, you ask yourself, what does a 3-month baby know? Or what does a 3-month baby have as a woman that will make you think that this is what you should do to this
So are we
young
saying that
child?
sometimes these rapists are actually not okay, not be normal?
Yes, some of these instances are mental issues. They are mental issues. Okay. I believe that even our laws try to protect those who are not mentally stable, right? However, even those that are raped sometimes are people who are not mentally okay. I'll give you a typical example. I think I was in JSS 2. I was in JSS 2 then. There was this young lady who the parents always kept her at home. It was later I discovered that she was not
so okay.
She was not so okay. She was locked, literally locked. But you discover that young boys within the secondary school where I was, those ones who found themselves to be more mature, will trip into this girl, do whatever they want to do and come out. And in such instance, that is the pure incidence of rape. Even if the girl will accept you, but she was not mentally stable to give that consent. That's why for children now, the law will try to protect them. Okay, people who fall below certain age, for instance, we say, okay, people who fall below 16 years now or below 18 years, depending on the jurisdiction, cannot give you consent. Okay, you say, okay, I didn't know this girl was 14. Okay, if you look at the society today, a 14-year-old girl, there was a place I was taking tutorials at a point in time. When I heard that the girl was 14 years, I was shocked because she even looked more mature than her seniors who were 18 and above in the tutorial center. But it does not give you the privilege, the right to say, okay, you want to start doing something with that young girl. By the time you go ahead to do, excuse me, do something with that young girl, it amounts to rape, even though she agrees, because she has not reached the age of consent. Even Nigeria recognized that, okay, before you are seen as an adult, you must be 18 years old. Although we know that in the north, for instance, the jurisdiction is different, right? They look at it as 16, because I believe at the age of 16, some persons are already giving out in marriage already. Yeah.
Marriage, true.
So I believe for the offense of rape, generally speaking, as a cultural thing, it affects not just the men or the women. So it affects both gender, right? However, it's more prominent with the women.
Okay, now for issues of rape, now we will talk husband and wife. This one what they call spouse. Can a man rape his wife? Can a woman rape her husband? Or whatever happens, as long as you are married, any form of sexual something is naturally consented.
Now, I will just move back to the penal code. The penal code was express. The criminal code did not even highlight that, but the penal code was express. By telling us that a man cannot rape his wife. So that is an express indication. So our laws in Nigeria now has not developed or welcome spousal rape. In other jurisdictions outside the world, they say, okay, there's this what's the word now that they are trying to promote: my body, my right. You understand? Like a slogan: my body, my right. So I can choose whatever I want to do with my body. So as a woman, for instance, you can say, okay, if I decide today to have an intercourse with my husband, it is because it is my right. So if I don't want, it's because it's my right. I also don't want to have it. But for the society we live in, Nigeria sees husband and wife, more like as one. So you cannot, as a woman, bring up the issue of your husband raping you, or you saying that your wife raped you, as the case may be. Is alien to our law. Very, very alien to our laws.
So in a situation now where something like maybe rape or this kind of sexual abuse happen, and culture they talk one thing, our laws they talk another thing, which one actually supersede? And like you said, in a case of rape, so you go to the police station, you go for a medical test. Now the only two things where you need to do be that.
No, that's not just the only two things. But when I said the police station the police is empowered to prosecute crimes, right?
And rape is a criminal offense.
It's a criminal offense. So, however, most of these cases, once they are within the police station, the police can decide to recommend to the Ministry of Justice for further prosecution, because most times the police do not really have the expertise to go ahead with that. We know that in Nigeria now, the police have been empowered to prosecute crimes even up to the Supreme Court, because they have in-house lawyers within them as well. But most times, yes, police prosecutors. But most times, some of these cases are recommended to the Ministry of Justice and taken up from there. But it is for the police to investigate. So if the police finds out that there is a case, then they can go ahead to take the matter to court. And obviously, as it is, rape cases are one cases that are either difficult to prove, and most times, if well proven, the offender will not go scot-free. It's either you go life imprisonment, or if the judge is lenient enough, give you some maximum years imprisonment.
But have there been cases of rape where justice was served? Because most times when you talk about rape cases, they go tell you, say, like we first talk stigmatization. No, everybody go know. Now that girl, now they don't rape before. Now that boy, now they rape. So that fear of them go laugh you, or they go use and say no, you follow. There's some other ones, just like you talk, you go to the police station and then you go and lay complaint. We've had cases where people go talk, say, the first thing where they ask, waiting you wear. Waiting carry you go there, so you already feel say then go shame you there before you even go. So you just find say you no even want do am, and then let's say finally you even can't carry the matter reach there. Maybe the justice system or even the police go frustrate you. Later, family go even say, make we withdraw the case, make we keep her within the family. If you even come there unlucky when a big person rape you, then go feel use money or resources to take close your mouth. All of these things are the problems where we get. How we fit surmount this one? So are you saying that our constitution no actually talk anything about rape?
Okay, I would say expressly. Like when you mean express, the constitution did not say anything express about rape. But there are other subsidiary laws that talked about rape. Now, talking about the constitution, section 1(3) of our constitution says that any law that is inconsistent with the provisions of this constitution shall, to the extent of its inconsistency, be rendered null and void. Wetin that one mean? It means say now, for customs, for traditions, whether religious wise or culturally speaking, traditionally, as long as it is inconsistent with the constitution. Don't forget that for the constitution empowers the National Assembly to make laws. So laws that have been made by the National Assembly are still they are deriving their power from the constitution.
Okay.
So laws like the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act is deriving its powers from the constitution. Laws like the Criminal Code is deriving its powers from the constitution. So except there is any part of that subsidiary law that is not consistent with the constitution, then that part, the constitution will supersede that law. However, cultural practices, traditional or religious practices that are not, or that encourages offenses like rape, are inconsistent with the constitution by provision of those subsidiary laws. So in such situation, those cultural practices will be rendered null and void. Okay, let me give an outside explanation. We can say now in most cultures, I think before now, there are some places I've lived. If maybe the king died, they will have to do sacrifice. They will have to kill some human beings to follow this. But if there is anything that establishes that such action is carried out, that's an offense of murder. It's an offense of murder against the constitution. So the constitution must take precedence over that. So in such a situation, it's a cultural practice. Most people still carry it out. But if someone is caught and brought under the law, the person will face the consequence of the law.
So in a situation of rape, a person will be say just go through rape. Waiting be the first thing make you do. How do you work to get justice? How do we put this message out there?
Okay, I would say rape generally for rapists is a mindset problem. So your mindset first actually matters a lot for someone who has been raped. Now, it's not the end of the war. We understand that for some persons, they start thinking suicide, start thinking how to harm themselves and all that. But just believe that it's one negative part of life, but you have to surmount it. And the very first step, just like I said, you don't have to, most people destroy the evidence. That's the problem. A woman has been raped, for instance, and she goes in, take a shower, clean the room, and
she's traumatized, and she
I
just wants to
understand. I
remove that
understand that
shame.
that is just the aspect of it. But if you are in to pursue the person who raped you,
No bath.
you don't have to.
Just go hospital.
Don't destroy any form of evidence. You don't. That I keep saying it even before you go to the hospital, except maybe something has happened that is going to be detrimental to your health. The first place I will recommend anybody to go is the police station, because from there they will be the one to even recommend the hospital or even bring an examiner to examine you and put everything in order. They help gather the evidence. But if you decide that, okay, it has happened, let me just clean everywhere, you clean everywhere and then make sure every evidence has been destroyed. At the end of the day, you might start looking for how to gather evidence to prove. And don't forget that the law court is not Father Christmas. It is what you bring to the law court that the court will say, okay, this is the evidence before us. So if the evidence is not sufficient, that's why they say the justice system, if you notice the lady Justicia, she's on with a knife and a scale, isn't it? She can't see what is going on. She wasn't there when all that happened. But it is what you place on the scale that will determine whether the scale goes towards the left or towards the right. So if there is no evidence, it's more like putting feather and cement is, or the stone is. So that is how the system is. So for me, the very first place I would advise a victim of rape to report to is the police station. But another challenge we have, our police system, if I can put it that way, have not really been helping. Because in a situation where you get to the police station and they will tell you, okay, bring money to open file, or bring money to do this, bring money to do that, you discover that people begin to get discouraged. Okay, I am coming to the police station to tell you that this is what is happening. And at the end of the day, you are pushing me towards bringing maybe resources I don't even have. And if the person who has raped you now is even someone that is well-to-do, the person will obviously have the power to even hire good representation for himself. And that is how evidence and everything will begin to be destroyed before the case even starts. And at the end of it, there's nothing to prove.
Okay, so in case now, say you carry and go police and they don't answer you or something, what more can you do?
Okay,
you feel petition to the Ministry of Justice yourself, that now one. And then two, what if, say, your family or people, they pressure you, say, die this matter, what do you really do to get justice?
Okay. Now, it's not only the police that handle criminal sexual offenses. Let me even put it generally. There is NAPTIP.
Okay.
National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Person.
Yes.
Right? NAPTIP. So for offenses that are sexual in nature, NAPTIP is, in fact, the Violence Against Person Prohibition Act has given NAPTIP the powers to keep a sexual offenders register. So which means for someone who has raped somebody and has been convicted,
they're supposed to put their name for book.
Exactly. So generally, it will be them until maybe the person is granted pardon, because in Nigeria now you can be granted pardon for even any kind of offense.
Wow.
Anyway, let's keep that aside. So you can actually look at some of these bodies to help. You also have lawyers who might be willing to take up your case. We talk about pro bono lawyers and all that. However, those lawyers will not automatically fight that battle for you, because
There
they will
shall
still
need
need
to
to
always
take,
be evidence.
yeah, apart from evidence, they also need to still take permission from the state. You know, when we talk about crimes is an offense against the state. So it is the state that have exclusive power to prosecute crime. So for you as a private individual to prosecute a crime, you need a fiat from the Attorney General to, okay, go ahead and prosecute this crime on my behalf, which means the Attorney General is giving you the powers to prosecute this crime on his behalf. You understand? But if, for instance, you have a lawyer at the back of your lawyer will always know what to do. So it's not just running to the police station. Most times, people end up in the police station for things that they don't are not connected to at all, and police will make mess of you because you don't have someone that knows that, okay, why are they bringing you here? Recently, there was a case, although this is not sexual related. Someone did not commit an offense. In fact, the offense had been committed before he was employed in the particular office. They arrested everybody, and then when it was time for bail, they were asking, okay, bring so amount, bring so this, bring that, and all that. But because the person knew that, no, I cannot, I didn't have any participation with the listen. You had to call the lawyer, and the lawyer was able to help without him paying anything to get out of that place. But most people are not really aware. So if you are facing a particular situation that is legally in nature or legal in nature, find a means to get a lawyer involved. So for even for a rape case, most lawyers are very emotional when it comes to things like that, especially for the female ones, I must tell you. Especially my DPP in Enugu, I still respect her a lot. She was the one fully in charge of every rape matter when I was in Enugu there. Anything that deals with rape, the woman will champion it. And to tell you, because that is how emotional humans can be about certain things, because you can't just violate someone anyhow and expect the law to just close his eye against you, especially for people who are wealthy in the society. Because in Nigeria of today, I can say, even though I'm not supposed to say, that once you have money to an extent, you can buy a lot of things for yourself, and that is just how it is.
Okay, so you just talk now, during your time as a lawyer, you don't see where rape victims actually got justice.
Yes. Now I will even start from Enugu. That was where I had a lot of experience about this thing, because for people who came out, and there were a lot of evidence, just like I said, to prove that this offense actually happened. The only thing is, I've not seen anyone from my few years of practice that got the maximum sentence of life imprisonment. I've not seen though, but I've seen 18 years, I've seen 21 years. You understand? Imprisonment for the offense of rape. But when you talk about the maximum sentence, most times, because of how it is that you see someone who will spend the rest of his life in jail, the life imprisonment thing, most judges, sometimes their hands are tied. So they might just put it in between the line and give you a particular number of years. But for my few years of practice, I've not witnessed. It's not that there are no situations or recorded cases that have given that maximum punishment. It is the maximum. Even the penal code said it should not be less than 12. So the judge can decide to give 12.
Okay. All right. You're still there on top CHRICED Radio and Television. Know your rights. Now we did so. And we talk about rape and human rights, how the law and the culture take connect. I still get Justice Olga Esquire inside the studio. Before we go come back now to come wrap up the show, make we just take a very sharp break. But don't forget, we're there on top all social media handles at CHRICED Radio TV. At CHRICED Radio TV, and we're there live right now on top Facebook and YouTube. There with us, make we take this break. When we come back, immediately we round up the show. You're still there on top, know your rights. And as we don't be ready to pack our car to conclude, my name na Princess Aniana, and I still get Justice Oga in the house. Justice, as we are leaving, what will be your final words on top the matter today?
Okay. So first and foremost, I will say that rape is not a gender specific offense. Although for Nigeria, rape is more prone to the females, or generally globally, not just Nigeria, is prone to the females. But the world is evolving, so things are actually changing, and um, the offense of rape is expanding. So we should have a broader mindset. And if at all, I will speak specifically for victims of rape, that rape is not like the end of the world. So there are a lot of things to achieve in the society if anyone at any point in time has been raped. And for those of us that see some of these offenses being carried out, we should try as much as possible not to encourage it, because the society generally, what you see and overlook most times will one day come around affecting you. So that is for people who are affected. So generally, let's also know that let's believe the system. Let's also trust that the system in Nigeria still works. And how do we trust that? We make the right decision at the right time, and also try as much as possible. I always say this, to have a lawyer at your corner, that in a situation like this, in situations like this, you can always reach out to a lawyer. Not just, it might not be rape per se, it might not be criminal per se, but it might even be civil matters that a lawyer can actually help you handle and ease the tension, rather than bringing it to yourself so much, giving so much burden to yourself at that particular point in time. So that would be like my parting words for today.
All right, so you don't hear say make we try to make sure say we know say the law dey work. Try to get a lawyer. Now one thing wey me say I go always preach be that, say try to get a lawyer in your corner. Like you talk, if you're a victim of rape, the first thing wey you suppose do, run to police station, make you for go put your report. But you know say sometimes you go reach police station, they will come dey do anyhow. But if you get a lawyer with you, the lawyer go fit guide you on wetin to do. And still, I think also the VAP Act now something where we suppose domesticate all over the country. This one we say some people they use them, some not they use them. We need to make sure say we get laws where we say we they use all over the country where we feel use. And then we need to find where culture and the law go feel relate together to feel protect each other. International human rights law already don't talk say rape and sexual violence no be am. Na very big disobey against your human rights, and na crimes, na violation of human dignity. And to make sure say we fight this crime, e need better laws where they work. E need touchlightment where they pure. And then we also need to make sure say if person come complain this kind of complaint, we no laugh am, we no joke am, we no stigmatize am. We actually touchlight the matter. Make sure say we check both the person where commit the crime and the person where they commit the crime against. Like lawyer even been talk, say sometimes some people where even they commit this crime say they feel no even they okay. So you check them, you check the victims, and then you make sure say there's prosecution and then support for those ones then will survive. Don't forget to join us again on top another edition of this wonderful program. But till then, continue to follow us on top all of our social media handles at CHRICED Radio TV. My name na Princess Aniana. Thank you so much once again, Justice.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you so much, Abuja. Thank you so much, Nigeria, for staying with us. No go anywhere.